How's it going, everyone? Texas Man here, back with another video. This is keeping me going today because yesterday and today it was extremely hot in the middle of a heat wave right now. And this Grill of Mine black cherry lemonade is delicious, only 10 calories, absolutely no sugar and no artificial calories. So if you guys are looking for one of the healthiest options in terms of flavor and also energy, I encourage you guys check out Grill of Mine. You guys can get this at most of your local gas stations. You also can get this in a 12-pack off of Amazon for about $35. They're worth it. They're delicious. Yeah, they're delicious. They do not cause sneezing. It's just I've got a bunch of fans going right now. Like I said, it's like 102 because of this heat wave that we're in right now. And tomorrow we're going to get a major rain and thunderstorm. So, yeah, cheers. Anyway, for the video that you guys actually came for, I want to let you guys know, please subscribe so you guys don't miss out on future content. If you guys haven't watched anything MCU related, I do have a bunch of different playlists here on my channel. All you guys got to do, use the search engine, type in MCU, and you'll find a bunch of different MCU playlists and content here on the channel. But as always, you're going to be discussing the brand new MCU movie. What is this? Film 828? Even if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But we're going to be talking about Fantastic Four First Steps. I don't think I'm ever going to call it Fantastic Four First Steps after I finish this video. I think I'm just going to call it Fantastic Four 4. Because this is the fourth version of the Fantastic Four. We had the original from 2005 and 2007. Then we had that god-awful version from 2015. But now the Fantastic Four, they've made their way into the MCU. I am, in this video, going to be diving into some spoilers. Nothing too, outrageous, but I will be talking about the film in a little detail. First thing I also want to talk about is the fact that there are some post-credit scenes. So make sure you stick around for those, because this film is all we're getting as of right now. This might change. But it is, as of right now, at the time of recording this video, this is the last MCU movie we're getting until Avengers Doomsday, which is supposed to come out sometime in 2026. So they've got this huge window. The release date is not confirmed. It was supposed to come out December 2026, and it got moved up until summertime of 2026. So whenever that movie's coming out, it's coming out next year. So this is all we're getting in terms of film releases for 2025 with the MCU, which is okay because Brave New World sucked. Thunderbolts was basically another Suicide Squad thing in the MCU. And now we have Fantastic Four. First Steps. I will keep trying to say that in this video so I don't have to say it for the rest of my life. But let's get the biggest problems out of the way. And I think the first thing we need to talk about is the controversy when it comes to this movie. Now, unfortunately, before this movie was released, a lot of the actors and actresses, they're like, yeah, we're so excited. This is going to champion women. And, Reed Richards is going to not be the leader of the Fantastic Four. It's all going to be about Sue Storm and, female super surfer, Silver Surfer. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So there was a lot of controversy leading into this movie that this was going to be another movie in the MCU treadmill, just like, the Marvels. Or She-Hulk. Yeah, we need more of that crap right now when we're trying to create new stepping grounds to build up to Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. But, hey, what do I know? I'm just a normal person. Anyway, I'm glad to report none of that bullshit is in here. Okay? Reed Richards, played by Pedro Pascal. He's not emasculated. But his character really doesn't do anything. He is the leader of the Fantastic Four in this movie. But he doesn't present the presence of a leader. Okay, he is the leader. Sue Storm does not take over until the last battle, basically, against Galactus, but even then, he's still the leader. But he doesn't, like, provide the presence of a leader. Like, he's always second-guessing himself. He's always unsure as to if what he's saying and doing is for the greater good, not just for himself, his family, but also for the whole world. He feels like he's constantly in conflict with himself. He's never sure that what he's saying and doing is always the best thing. And yeah, leaders can have doubt, but Reed Richards in this movie constantly has that, and that's basically his arc. That's his character, is to be constantly in doubt and lead a team into difficult situations. And I just don't like that personally as a leader-like quality. Him constantly being that way and never getting past it, never getting past his self-doubt, I just don't like. In terms of the Human Torch and the Thing, both of the actors that play them did a phenomenal job. I honestly think they're probably the best part of the movie, especially their banter against each other. It's kind of like, having brotherly rivalry, even though, they're not brothers. But they felt like brothers because they're constantly doing this back and forth banter. So that was kind of cool. In terms of Sue Storm, she, like I said, she works really well with Reed Richards. Pedro Pascal and Vanessa Kirby, great chemistry. Sue Storm, in the end of the movie, here we go, like I said, spoilers, she does die. And then she gets resurrected. I hate it when movies do this. She gets resurrected by her baby. Her child. Reed Richards and Sue Storm's child. Everyone's like, oh, this child's going to have some sort of superpower, right? I guess, and I don't know this because I never got that far into the comics, but I guess their child has the ability to provide death cure. So, now in the MCU, we have time travel, thanks to the Infinity Gauntlet and Thanos and all that crap. We have a bunch of different Earths and alternate realities, thanks to all the crap with Wanda, Doctor Strange, and King the Conqueror. Now, thanks to this movie, we have a character that literally can just resurrect the dead. Without any consequences. She has no consequences from being resurrected. The child or Sue Storm. Like, no memory problems, no back pain, no de-aging or aging up. It's just like, oh, I resurrected you by touch. Boop. Hi, Mom. I'm just like, I get it's a comic book movie. But you have to understand, when you write in these types of things, now because there's a character in the MCU that can resurrect anybody, you know what that does? It creates writers' problems. Because now, because you have a character that can literally resurrect anybody, just by touch, basically, it makes death within the MCU even more irrelevant. Because not only do we have time travel, so you can bring, Gamora from the past into the future, and she's now alive. Not only do we have alternate dimensions, so Doctor Strange gets killed on Earth 700, you can bring a different Doctor Strange from another Earth and just replace him. Now we have a character that doesn't even have to worry about any of that crap, just touch, and they're back to life. So it makes death completely irrelevant. And so when you get to these serious moments where a character may or may not die, it completely is going to take you out of it, because now you know for a fact in the MCU, somewhere, there's this one character out there that has the ability to resurrect them. So if, Yelena gets killed, Reed Richards and Sue Storm's child can just show up, touch her, and she's back to life kicking ass. Do you understand the problem that this creates in terms of writing dramatic, death-like scenarios within the MCU moving forward? And it's going to make Doomsday and Secret Wars have a real problem when it comes to trying to make character deaths interesting because all you gotta do is flip a switch and they're back to life. So that's a problem. Getting back to Fantastic Four First Steps off of this death ramble now. Let's talk about female Silver Surfer. Predictable. If you watched the 2007 Fantastic Four movie, Rise of the Silver Surfer, this movie basically plays that entire plot line for the Silver Surfer out again. So, she's like, she's constantly second guessing herself. She doesn't know if she wants to be on Team Fantastic Four or Team Galactus. And obviously, because most people saw that 2007 movie and most people know the comic, everyone knows what's going to happen, which side she picks. It's the Fantastic Four side, hint, hint. Yeah, it made the movie kind of lose a lot of twists and turns and shocking revelations. This movie suffers from the fact that nothing in this movie is going to surprise you. Like, everything is just comic book, simple, predictable, safe bubble. The movie's entertaining, don't get me wrong. This movie is really entertaining. And I honestly think it's better than Superman by James Gunn that came out a week or so ago. But that bar's not really hard to, get over. It's not hard to beat that. Because I gave that a 6, and I'm going to tell you right now I'm giving this movie a higher rating than that. But I just felt like everything was very predictable and safe. In terms of Galactus, he does look comic book accurate. He's not some sort of stupid black hole smoke monster hiding out in space. He does look comic book accurate, which I'm happy about getting that right. The aesthetic, perfect. Everything looks great. It looks comic booky. I do wish that we got to spend more time on this Earth and in this universe. Obviously, this movie's setting up Avengers Doomsday, so I don't want to spoil too much, like I said earlier, but there are certain things that happen at the end of the movie that are going to lead into Avengers Doomsday, the end of the movie, and of course the post-credit scenes. I think they do a pretty good job at that. I just wish this movie focused more on the Fantastic Four. In terms of their teamwork, they do work well together, using their different abilities to do different things. Sue Storm and Fantastic Four, Sue Storm and Silver Surfer, they're basically the two people that, they deliver the final blow against Galactus, so there is a small amount of feminism in the finale battle. In the finale battle, it's kind of a letdown, because, you get this, there's this looming danger just because of the trailers and posters, and when you're watching the movie, there's this looming danger that Galactus is about to show up and just swallow Earth. And then when you get to the finale battle, it's kind of a letdown. It didn't feel like a good payoff. It was good enough. It was serviceable. But, the movie was building up to something bigger, and we just really didn't get it. At least not for me. It might have worked better for you, but for me personally, I didn't feel like, oh, this was amazing! It's serviceable. It does well enough, but, yeah. And how Galactus gets defeated, I feel as if, though, they're going to make it where he can come back, if that makes any sense. If you've seen the movie, you kind of know what I'm talking about. I don't want to spoil too much. Besides that, what else? Oh, the plot. Let's get to the plot. The whole plot of this movie is that Silver Surfer gets sent to this Earth, 828, and she's like, we need your child. Galactus wants your baby, otherwise he's going to just swallow your entire planet and kill all of you. And will they do that or not? And that's nearly a 2.5 hour plot. Yeah. Plot, very basic. So, kind of interesting in that way. There are going to be some surprises in the movie. I don't want to spoil them from past movies. The rumor of Kang the Conqueror, or at least a variant of him being in this movie, may or may not be true. So keep a lookout for that. What else? I haven't written any notes, as you can tell. This is why this video is so long. I literally just got back and I was just like, okay, I don't want to even bother trying to write everything down. I just want to talk about it. So I apologize for the length of the video. What else? I think that's it. Yeah. I enjoyed it. Probably I hated Brave New World. I thought Thunderbolts was decent enough. But like, after Avengers Endgame, there really hasn't been a movie that I'm just like, oh, I'm so excited to rewatch. This is a movie I think I'll enjoy rewatching, and this is definitely going to be a movie that I will want to get on Blu-ray and rewatch it a couple times, definitely before Avengers Doomsday comes out next year. So I'm excited for that. A lot of most of Phase 4 and Phase 5 MCU movies I haven't bought on DVD or Blu-ray or even 4K. Unlike Phase 1, 2, and 3, I have all of them. A lot of Phase 4 and 5 stuff, I'll just watch it once or twice in theaters if I enjoy it enough. And then, if I want, I'll just rewatch it on Disney+. But this movie, I think, is worth definitely seeing. It doesn't feel like an MCU. When you're watching the movie, especially for the first hour, it doesn't feel like an MCU movie. And I think that's because it's a very down-to-earth, character-driven. It's not plot-driven, like I said. It's character-driven, and which is a good thing, I guess. I just wish it was character and plot. But it's a very serious movie. It knows it needs to be a serious movie because it's trying to, lay the groundwork for Avengers Doomsday. But it also doesn't have any humor. Like, if you've seen this movie, there's a couple, little jokes, but they're not, James Gunn or Josh Whedon jokes where they, you have this joke that just breaks this really important tension-filled, moment. The few jokes that are in this movie, they're in service of whatever's happening on screen. And they're not fourth wall breaking like Deadpool. I mean, those things can work well, but they need to be in tone and in line with the movie itself. And this movie is realizing, okay, we need to get serious. We don't need all these jokes. So I hope Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, they can replicate this. You can have humor, but make it tonally consistent with what's happening on screen and the characters and their interactions and, just the general plot. If you have a joke and it doesn't land, it's going to ruin a scene that may be more important than you realize, and people are just not going to like it because of that. So, overall, I enjoyed Fantastic Four First Steps. Probably, I enjoyed it a lot more than Jurassic World Rebirth and a lot more than Superman, which I honestly thought was going to be the other way around before these movies came out. I was like, okay, I think, it's going to be Jurassic World, Superman, and Fantastic Four. And somehow, I think it's gone the opposite direction. I think it's gone from Fantastic Four, Superman, Jurassic World Rebirth. And that's kind of crazy. So, I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day. Look forward to more awesome videos coming soon. If you guys want, I do also stream regularly on Twitch, Douglas447, covering a bunch of different stuff, including Splitgate 2, Destiny 2, The Edge of Fate. I'm going to be covering here soon, Resident Evil 7, Delta Force, Battlefield 6, whenever that gets released, and a bunch of other awesome stuff as well. Like I said, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day. Peace out, guys.